Okay, I'm showing you extensive close-up on this because this is a repaired guitar. So this is a Tanglewood TW STk, solid spruce top, sort of vintage sunburst. Has a rosewood board, nice flame mahogany back and sides, and this one has had extensive repair work, mostly done to the neck. I think you saw this, the neck off. Now that doesn't look great, but it's functional, and I touched it up as well as I can. I mean, remember, both sides of that break, the wood was bare, so it's a better color match than I think most people would get. The dark scar I can't do anything about. You're going to see it, but you can see here where it took the shot, which probably was the blow that snapped the neck off. And I used a Gorilla Glue for that. I did film it in clamps, but my computer died, so I'm not sure if I'll get that footage back. But anyway, this is the Tanglewood, and there's going to be another one, because right here, this is the Tanglewood Baby, and we have the bridge off here. Had to scratch all the way to the line of the bridge and sand. Also clean all the glue off here. So this took a lot of sanding to get this prepared. It's going to be glued up here in a minute. This is a different model. The thing is about Tanglewoods is they kind of do, at least over here in the UK, they do the full spectrum. So you get the cheaper ones, and then you get some really nice mid-range stuff, and even some higher end stuff. So even though they're very, very common, it would be a mistake to think of them as all being cheap guitars, because they're not. These two are not high-end models, but they're not the cheapest either. And I believe they're both solid top models, so worth repairing if you can. Yeah, so I've had a series of these bridge jobs. This is the second. I can show you. Oh, I almost don't want to show you, it's so bad. This job, I managed to get it back together. This is that awful cheap Encore guitar. So there it is. I reused the screws. It looks ugly underneath. It's back together, tuned up. It plays just fine with the setup. However, it's just not going to look as good as these other two guitars because I'm not going to waste too much time on it. But this one got put back together. I think this was the one in clamps that I lost the footage of. But anyway, let me show you. Okay, folks, here we go. This one here. Still tuning up because I just put strings on it. It's back together. It's got some ugliness around the bridge. I had to scrape a lot of paint off of it, so you got a little bit of a scar going around the bridge, which I put some orange fill in, but you can see it. But I'm probably going to give this away. So this is the cheap Encore guitar. And then just to illustrate, even though I haven't got it up to full pitch yet, this one, these are quite nice actually. This is a really nice matte finish burst on this. I mean, the difference between this and the one I just showed you is just night and day. This is a proper varnish. That one, you breathe on it and the paint just chips off. So rise all the way up the neck. The strings are a bit slack because I'm taking my time to bring them up to full pitch just to make sure this joint holds. Also had to re-glue down the bridge as well. So going bit by bit on this one, but wanted to show you it as completed. So there we have it. This is the Tanglewood TW STk, and this is a solid spruce model. Yep. And really nice flamed back and sides on these. These are quite nice actually, and it'd be perfect but for that ugly scar, but I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to hold just fine. I use Gorilla Glue on this, and Gorilla Glue joints, I mean the original Gorilla Glue, not the Gorilla White Glue. The original Gorilla Glue joints, if you clamp them properly, they don't fail. It'll break somewhere else before it fails at the same joint. That's been my experience. I've glued cello necks and bass viol necks with Gorilla Glue, and they hold. So you know, if you've got a really cheap guitar and you need it just to go back together, Gorilla Glue is the original Gorilla Glue is something you might want to consider. It's messy, there's a lot of cleanup involved. You have to let it solidify, then ship it off. You can't clean up the squeeze out like you can with a white glue, so it's a bit messy, but it really does hold. Probably wouldn't use it for a Martin or a Taylor, probably would use hide glue, but for guitars of this ilk, if you've got a snapped headstock or a broken heel joint, Gorilla Glue works really well. So there it is. Nice guitar, much nicer than the other one I just showed you, but there we go. That's the state of repairs. I still sound cold ridden here. It takes a while to get over this thing. I actually have been feeling well for 2 or 3 days now, but you just sound bad for a couple of weeks, and still testing slightly positive, so gotta wait until I'm all the way negative before I get back to normal. But anyway, on the mend. Been working for the last 2 or 3 days just fine. Get tired a little bit easier, but that's the only thing. And then just sound bad. But other than that, doing just fine. Thanks for your well wishes, and thanks for taking an interest in this channel and these repairs. Appreciate it. See you next time.